What's going on, everybody? Got another video here, and this one's a an interesting one, as you could see by the title: Desktop Engineer question mark. I got a question from someone just a couple of days ago, and they asked, what's the difference between a desktop engineer and a desktop technician?" And I got to tell you, I pretty much laughed. Okay, not at his question, but I laughed at the title of desktop engineer. Okay. I must be living under a rock because I never knew the title existed in 21 years in this profession. Okay. To my surprise, when I Googled it, I found some job boards and there was a ton of desktop engineer positions out there. And I just cannot believe that companies actually use the word engineer after desktop. Okay. When I think of the word engineer, I think of really complicated stuff. Okay. Matter of fact, if you look up the definition of what an engineer is, let me read it to you. A person who has scientific training and who designs and builds complicated products, machines, systems, or structures. A person who specializes in a branch of engineering. Okay? So, when I think of engineering, right, I think of the people that are building bridges, just like it said, are designing the bridges, designing, you know, artificial intelligence stuff. They're designing tools that like doctors use to perform surgeries. They're architectural engineers. Okay, these are like really smart people. Okay, so when I think of the word engineer in the context of the IT profession, there's only like two jobs that I can think of, in my opinion. My opinion. Okay, only two jobs that I can think of that actually deserve the title of engineer, right? Software engineer and network engineer. Okay, those are probably the two most that really deserve it, and that's because they actually are designing and putting together really difficult, complex stuff. Okay, software engineers are designing software, they're writing code. Okay, network engineers are probably those folks that have like the highest of the high certifications, like for example the Cisco CCIE. They are designing and architecting very complex networks. Okay, everything else is just, to have that word engineer behind the name is just fancy. Okay, I'll admit my title has the word engineer in it, and I am far from an engineer. I do not consider myself an engineer. I do not like the word. I do not like the way companies sling it around all over the place, just like they do desktop engineer. Are you kidding me? A desktop job is entry level into IT. You are doing the work where you're supporting the hardware that end users are using primarily. So PCs, um, laptops, printers, you know, uh, label makers. You're doing you're doing some cable, a little bit of cable work. You're troubleshooting a little bit of software, right? So you're not doing this overcomplicated stuff, right? You're certainly not engineering anything as a desktop person, right? So when I look at these job postings and I see the qualifications are like this long, and they have the nerve to say that you have to have a 4-year degree in computer science to be a network engineer, is asinine to me. And so I think it's absolutely ridiculous what these companies are doing. They're using the wrong terminology. They're using the wrong qualifications for a desktop job. And it's not just the desktop jobs that they're over exaggerating on, it's a lot of the other jobs as well in IT. So when you're looking for a desktop type position, just know that whatever it says, whatever it says after the word desktop, you're pretty much doing the same job. It doesn't matter, okay? You're supporting some sort of end user workstation or laptop, or some of them are using um, virtual type what do you call it, like Citrix. They're using virtual desktops and things like that. You're not doing anything over complicated. Now, maybe once you gain some experience and you've been around for a while, they might start to let you do a little bit more, give you a little bit more access to things. For example, they might start letting you do a little bit in Active Directory, resetting user passwords and things like that, but very minimal stuff. Okay. So it's all the same thing. Don't let these qualifications deter you from applying from the job or for the job, because what they're asking is totally ridiculous. You just need to apply for it and see what happens, because they're all the same. Now, I really wish that these companies would stop the bullshit with putting these over complicated qualifications, mile long list of everything you need to know, because it's stupid, it's unrealistic, it's not how the real world works in IT, although some will argue. It's just terrible. The other thing that really tripped me out about this desktop engineer thing is the salary range. You look at the salary range and it's like 16,000 all the way up to 60. Okay? Really? That's your salary range? So the same guy in a small town is going to be making 16,000 as opposed to another person in New York City or San Francisco making 60. It's ridiculous. The whole thing is just absolutely insane to me. So, anyways, that's a long answer to a simple question, but I just wanted to put some context behind what these companies are doing to. I don't know what the motive is. I don't know if they're trying to scare people. I don't really understand why they have to be so fancy with their titles, because it's unnecessary, really. But anyways, let me know what you think. I'm sure that there's other opinions out there. If you have questions, of course, let me know in the comments section, or you can send me a message through YouTube as well, and I'll do my best to address that. So we'll talk to you next time. Take care. See you later.